The melody of heritage. In the tranquil village of Meadowbrook, nestled among rolling hills and flowering meadows, there was a treasure almost forgotten, a song that once resonated with the heartbeats of its inhabitants. This song, known as the Melody of Heritage, had been passed down through generations, but had faded into silence over the years. In Meadowbrook, there lived a group of children who loved exploring the village's nooks and crannies, always in search of new adventures. Among them were Emma, a curious and lively girl, and her best friend Jacob, who had a passion for music. One lazy summer afternoon, while rummaging through the attic of Emma's grandmother, they stumbled upon an old, dusty book. Its pages were yellowed with age, but the words written on them were still clear. It was a collection of folk songs and stories from Meadowbrook, and in it was the Melody of Heritage. Intrigued, Emma and Jacob sat down with the book, flipping through its pages. When they came across the forgotten song, a sense of wonder washed over them. The lyrics spoke of the village's history, its natural beauty, and the bond of its community. The melody, though unplayed, seemed to echo through the attic. Emma and Jacob decided they needed to hear the song. They took the book to Jacob's grandfather, Mr. Thompson, who was known in the village for his skill with the violin. Mr. Thompson's eyes lit up with recognition and nostalgia as he saw the song. "I haven't heard this melody since I was a boy," Mr. Thompson said, his voice tinged with emotion. He took out his violin, a little hesitant at first, but then, as the notes came back to him, he played the Melody of Heritage with a tender reverence. The music was beautiful, stirring something deep within Emma and Jacob. They felt a connection to their village and its history that they had never experienced before. The song spoke of the struggles and joys of their ancestors, weaving a story that brought the past to life. Eager to share their discovery, Emma and Jacob asked Mr. Thompson to teach them the song. They spent the following days learning the melody and the words, each note bringing them closer to their heritage. As they learned, Emma and Jacob started to understand the importance of preserving their cultural memories. They realized that the song was more than just a melody. It was a link to their past, a connection to the generations that had walked the paths of Meadowbrook before them. With Mr. Thompson's encouragement, Emma and Jacob decided to reintroduce the Melody of Heritage to the village. They planned to perform it at the upcoming Meadowbrook Festival, a yearly event that celebrated the village's culture and community. The children practiced diligently, their excitement growing as the festival approached. They knew that sharing the song was not just a performance, it was a way to revive a piece of Meadowbrook's soul. As the Meadowbrook Festival drew near, the excitement in the village was palpable. Colorful banners fluttered in the streets, and the aroma of delicious food filled the air. Emma and Jacob, with their newfound mission, felt a sense of pride and responsibility. They were about to bridge the gap between the past and the present, bringing an old tradition back to life. The night before the festival, the children gathered at Emma's house for a final practice. Under the soft glow of lanterns in the backyard, they went through the song, their voices harmonious and filled with emotion. Emma's grandmother, Mrs. Wilson, overheard them and was drawn by the familiar melody. Sitting down beside them, Mrs. Wilson listened intently, her eyes glistening with tears. "I haven't heard that song since I was a little girl," she said softly, after the children finished singing. "It was a song my mother sang to me, a song that held our village together during good times and bad." Mrs. Wilson shared stories about the Melody of Heritage, how it was sung at gatherings, celebrations, and even during difficult times. It was a song that echoed the spirit of Meadowbrook, a symbol of unity and resilience. Her stories added a deeper meaning to the song for Emma and Jacob. They realized that they were not just reviving a melody, they were awakening the collective memory of their community, reconnecting the present with the echoes of the past. The day of the festival arrived, bright and clear. The village square was bustling with activity, with stalls selling crafts, food and games. The air was filled with laughter and chatter, but there was also an air of anticipation for the evening's performances. As the sun began to set, casting a golden hue over the village, Emma and Jacob took their place on the makeshift stage in the square. The crowd quietened as Mr. Thompson introduced them, explaining the significance of the song they were about to perform. With the first note of Mr. Thompson's violin, a hush fell over the crowd. Emma and Jacob began to sing, their voices clear and strong. The melody of heritage flowed through the square, its timeless tune reaching every corner of the village. The reaction of the villagers was profound. Older members of the community were visibly moved, some wiping away tears as memories were rekindled. Younger villagers listened in awe, experiencing the song's magic for the first time. The melody created a bridge across generations, drawing everyone together in a shared experience. As the final note faded, a moment of silence enveloped the square, followed by a resounding applause. The villagers came forward, expressing their gratitude to Emma, Jacob, and Mr. Thompson for bringing back a part of their heritage. That night, the children of Meadowbrook learned an invaluable lesson about the power of their roots and traditions. They understood that in preserving their cultural heritage, they were keeping the spirit of their ancestors alive, ensuring that the identity of their village was not lost in the sands of time. The performance of the Melody of Heritage at the Meadowbrook Festival sparked a renewed interest in the village's traditions and history. Emma and Jacob became the catalysts for a cultural revival in Meadowbrook. The villagers, especially the elders, began to share more stories, songs, and customs that had lain dormant for years. Inspired by the success at the festival, Emma and Jacob, along with other children, started a cultural club. They met regularly under the guidance of Mr. Thompson and Mrs. Wilson, who were more than willing to share their knowledge. The club's goal was to learn about Meadowbrook's history and preserve its cultural heritage. The children embarked on a project to create a heritage book for Meadowbrook. They collected stories, recipes, photographs, and songs from the villagers. Each page of the book was a mosaic of the village's past, filled with memories and wisdom passed down through generations. During their gatherings, Mrs. Wilson taught the children old folk songs, while Mr. Thompson showed them traditional dances and crafts. The children learned to make hand-woven baskets, knit warm scarves, and bake bread using recipes that were as old as Meadowbrook itself. One particularly memorable story was about the founding of Meadowbrook, told by Mr. Davidson, the village's oldest resident. He described how the early settlers worked together to build the community, emphasizing values of cooperation and resilience. His tale was a reminder of the hard work and unity that shaped the village. As the children immersed themselves in these activities, they gained a profound appreciation for their heritage. They realized that these traditions were not just relics of the past, but were living pieces of Meadowbrook's identity. These customs and stories gave them a sense of belonging and a deeper connection to their community. The Heritage Book Project soon became a village-wide endeavor. Villagers of all ages contributed, adding their own stories and artifacts. The book was a symbol of Meadowbrook's collective memory, a testament to the village's rich history and vibrant culture. Emma and Jacob felt a great sense of achievement as they saw their project bring the community together. They understood that by preserving their heritage, they were not only honoring their ancestors, but also providing a legacy for future generations. Their efforts culminated in a special event organized by the Cultural Club, the Heritage Day celebration. It was an evening dedicated to showcasing Meadowbrook's traditions with music, dance, food, and storytelling. The highlight of the event was the unveiling of the Heritage Book, which was met with great admiration and pride by the villagers. As the celebration continued into the night, the children, along with the rest of the villagers, danced to the tunes of old and new songs, a blend of the past and the present. The atmosphere was filled with joy and a sense of unity, a reflection of the village's renewed spirit and cultural richness. The Heritage Day celebration marked a new beginning for the village of Meadowbrook. The rediscovery of the melody of heritage and the creation of the Heritage Book had rekindled a sense of pride and unity among the villagers. The cultural club, initiated by Emma, Jacob and their friends, had grown into a community-wide movement, with everyone contributing to keeping the village's traditions alive. In the weeks and months that followed, the Heritage Book found a special place in the village library, becoming a treasured source of knowledge for both young and old. It was not only a collection of the past, but also a living document, continually updated with new contributions from the villagers. The impact of the children's efforts was profound. The older generation, who had feared that their traditions would be lost, found joy in passing on their knowledge. They became regular visitors to the schools, sharing stories and skills with the younger generation, thus ensuring that the village's heritage would continue to thrive. Emma and Jacob realized that their journey had taught them an invaluable lesson: the importance of preserving and respecting one's heritage. They learned that traditions were not just about preserving the past, they were about understanding their roots and shaping their identity. The children's initiative also brought about a change in the village's annual events. The Meadowbrook Festival, once a simple fair, now included a segment dedicated to showcasing the village's history and cultural practices. Traditional music, dance and crafts became a highlight of the festival, drawing visitors from neighboring regions. As the children grew older, they continued to be active custodians of Meadowbrook's heritage. They organized workshops, exhibitions, and cultural exchange programs with other communities. The melody of heritage, once nearly forgotten, became a symbol of the village's enduring spirit and was passed down to new generations as a reminder of their rich cultural legacy. Years later, Emma and Jacob, now adults, stood together at the Meadowbrook Festival, watching a new generation of children perform the melody of heritage. They smiled at each other, knowing that they had played a part in preserving something precious. The song, with its gentle melody and profound lyrics, continued to echo through the hearts of the villagers, a timeless refrain that spoke of their history, their unity, and their enduring spirit. In Meadowbrook, traditions were no longer relics of the past, but living, breathing aspects of everyday life. The village had become a model for other communities, demonstrating how the preservation of cultural heritage could enrich present and future generations. The story of the melody of heritage and the children's role in its revival became a cherished tale in Meadowbrook, passed down as a testament to the power of curiosity, respect for the past, and the importance of cultural continuity.